welcome back. And for those that are new here, hello, my name is Leah and welcome. Today I am going to be doing a full face of makeup using my most expensive makeup products in my personal collection. To start everything off, I'm going to begin with primer, and I am going to be using my Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. For my foundation, I am going to go in with the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is in the shade Medium, in case you're wondering. For concealer, I am using the Tarte Creaseless Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Light 13N. I think I overdid it on the concealer just a little bit. This is definitely one that you don't need. This is definitely a concealer that you don't need a lot of at all. To set my concealer, I am going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, and I am going to be using the shade Radiant Light. It just looks like this one right here. To set my face, I am going to be using the Cosmic Face Powder by Stellar Cosmetics. This happens to be a sample size, but I will include the price of the actual full size of this item, and that's what I'm going to be going by for this. I do hate the feeling of a tacky foundation, so I do tend to really cake on the powder. I actually prefer pressed powder because I find I can really get that onto my skin a lot better, but I didn't have any expensive pressed powders, so we're going with this. For contour, I couldn't find any real high-end contouring powders that I have. I have a couple of bronzers, but nothing that is specific to a contour. But I do have this highlight and contour palette by IBY Beauty, and I'm going to be using the darkest shade right here for my contour. Next, I'm going to do a little bit of bronzing just to warm up my face a little bit. That foundation is a little bit light for me, just by like a shade, so I'm just going to warm my face up a little bit more. And I'm going to be using the Too Faced Christmas in New York Chocolate Shop palette. This particular palette is no longer available. It is from a holiday collection a couple of years ago, but the shade Chocolate Soleil is definitely still available through Too Faced. You can purchase that on its own, so that is the price that I'm going to be using, the price that you would pay for just this individual bronzer right here. Oh, it smells so good. For blush, I'm going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush, and this is in the shade Luminous Flesh, and it's just this pretty pink color right here. For highlighter, I will be using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, and this is in the shade Prosecco Pop, and this is what this particular one looks like. For brows, I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Brow Power, and this is in the shade Universal Taupe, I believe. Yes, Universal Taupe. And then I am going to be setting my brows with the Anastasia. Then I will be setting my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Moving on to my eyes, I will be using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is just in the original formula for my eyeshadow primer. Moving on to my eye look, I am going to be using the Tarte Tarteist Pro eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like. And it's pretty straightforward palette. You have kind of 4 different rows. Don't mind the powder that I spilled in it earlier. If you can see the little white flecks, that's what that's from. But it's pretty straightforward and pretty standard. You have 4 rows that all kind of work together. Of course, you can mix and match and make many different looks from this, but it is giving you kind of a dummy-proof guide on how to use this. For today, I'm going to go with a look just using the shadows from this row right here, the second from the bottom that I'm pointing to, mainly because it is the one that is the most outside my comfort zone. It uses a lot of cool tone shadows, and it's just one that I don't normally gravitate towards, but I'm going to use that one today. Before I do anything though, I am going to start with this shade right here and just set my eye primer. Oh, that's pigment. Just in my crease, I'm going to start with this shade right here. This is the shade No Filter. I am going to use this particular color as my transition shade, so that is why I'm going for my crease up a little bit, just so that you can see it. I'm going to keep it darker in my crease at my socket here, and then I'm just going to kind of feather it up in light circular motions and just bring it up onto my brow bone just the slightest bit, so that when my eyes are open I can still see that color coming through a little bit. Next I'm going to go in with this shade here. It is called Fierce, and I'm going to put that right into my crease and kind of concentrate it more on the outer part of my eye as well. I am going to bring this particular color up onto my brow bone just the slightest bit, just because I do have hooded eyes and I want that deepness and that kind of concentration of color and that definition to kind of be seen when I have my eyes open, not just when it's closed. Next up, I am going to be going in with the shade here. This is the shade Vamp. I'm just going to be putting that on the outer third of my lid and a little bit into my socket. I don't want to go above my crease at all with this one. I just want to really give it that definition. And I'm going to build it up slowly just because it is a dark color and I don't want it to be like up to my eyebrow before I know it. I am going to go back in with this shade right here from the top row. This is a shade Classic. I'm just going to go in and just kind of soften up the line up here from that first shade that I used, just so that it isn't so harsh, and then I can put a brow bone highlight on afterwards. But I am just going to blend that out a little bit just to, yeah, make it not as harsh. And for the rest of my lid, I am going to go in with this shade here, and it is the shade called Glam. And I'm just going to put it all the way on top of part of that darker shade that I brought in, just to kind of mix them together so it's not such a harsh kind of line. To finish off my eyeshadow, I am just going to go in with this white shade here, and it is the shade Vintage. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of that in my inner corner and a little bit on my brow bone, just to brighten stuff up a bit. And I don't usually wear a liquid liner or a gel liner, but I am going to go in with it today just to, you know, add up the price of this full face of expensive makeup. I'm going to be using the Vintage Cosmetics, what's this called? The Ink Blacklist Gel Eyeliner. I'm not doing a wing with this. I am just going in with a line on my upper lash line just to give it some more definition and more fullness to my lashes. I I don't have a high-end eyeliner that would go with this look. Any of the ones that I have that I like are actually different colors like blue or purple or that sort of thing. So because I wanted to keep this more neutral, I don't have one. So I'm just going to be using my eyeshadow palette here and just lining my lower lash line and smudging that out just a little bit. And I am going to go in again with the shade here, Vamp, just right against my lash line. And then I'm just going to use the shade No Filter just to kind of smoke it out just a teeny tiny bit. And that is the look without any lashes or mascara on. To finish off my eyes, I am going to go in with the Tarte Tarteist Lash Paint. And then I'm going to top it just with my L'Oreal Voluminous Waterproof Mascara, just because if I don't top this with a waterproof mascara or any regular mascara, if I don't top it with waterproof, I'll just have a hot mess on my cheeks in like, could be an hour, it could be a few minutes, depends on how teary and watery my eyes happen to be that day. I don't normally use false lashes simply because my eyes do get irritated pretty quick, and if I'm going to have false lashes on, I'm not going to be having my glasses on, which means I'm wearing contacts, which means my eyes are going to be irritated already just because my eyes don't like anything in it like that. So it's just a hot mess whenever I do it. I'm always really uncomfortable. So because it's not something I normally wear, I'm just going in with the mascara, but I'm going to coat it on pretty thick so that we kind of get that wow factor going. So I am seriously considering lash extensions just because watery eyes and trying to get mascara on, I always make a hot mess every time, just no matter how careful I am. So if you have had them, let me know in the comments below. Pros and cons, do you think they're worth the price? You know, I just wish they would last a little longer than what I think they do for the price of it, just because I'm like, can I justify that when, you know, honestly, I usually don't use a high-end mascara, so if I'm only using a mascara that is a few dollars, does that justify the price of getting lash extensions, seeing as a tube of mascara would probably last me longer than the lash extensions anyway? So for me, I don't think it's probably worth it. But again, I have a mess going on right here because I just crinkled my cheeks into my eyes and I have a mess there and it's a pain. But I don't know if I can justify the cost on it just because, you know, I make a mess and I'm too lazy to take the time to clean it up. Well, I'm not too lazy because I do clean it up, but it frustrates me. And now moving on to the lips, I am going to be using this Nars Velvet Lip Glide, and this is in the shade Bound. To finish everything off, I am going to be using the Color FX Illuminating Setting Spray. And this you need to really, really shake. Otherwise you get glitter all over your face. This is not one of my favorites, but it is the most expensive one I have. Give my arm a good workout here. Okay. Can't. It takes a while to get that on your face because the mist is so fine, which is nice, but yeah. Don't open your mouth when you do it. Doesn't taste good. And this, everyone, is a full face of the most expensive makeup that I own. I will put a grand total here so we can all find out what I have spent on makeup to get this lovely face in the most expensive way. That is a lot of money. I know that not all of these are my favorite by any means. I know that quite a few of them I actually have a lot cheaper, more affordable versions that I really enjoy a lot more than some of these items. Some of these items are really nice to use simply because you have that luxury feeling when you're using them. Other ones I got as samples or they were in subscription boxes, and that's why I do have them in my collection. Overall, I'm happy with the look that I got, and I do enjoy using a lot of these products, rotating them and just, you know, being a makeup lover and getting use out of different things. But I will say not everything here is a favorite, and it just goes to show that you don't need to spend a fortune to get your favorite products. However, this is a look that can cost you a small fortune. I know these types of videos have been going around on YouTube actually for a number of years now. I've seen them from a few years ago all the way up until recently. So if you have done a video like this, I would love to know about it. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you don't have a channel and you just kind of want to do this, let me know what your most expensive face total would come to. I would love to know that as well. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I hope you all have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.